Alright guys, welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends video. This is Ali Plays, and today we're going to start the Corrupted for the Faction Wars Prep series. So we're going to go over the Corrupted, we're going to go over the Demon Spawn and the Undead Hordes. So if you haven't checked out my other videos, make sure you guys check them out. I have done the Talarians and the Gallon Pack, so we're just going to jump right into this. So we're looking over the uncommons and the rares. We're not looking at the voids because they're hard to get. So we're looking at this with a free-to-play perspective. But people who actually spend will probably need to utilize these champions, because it says you need a lot of champions. So let's take a look at the uncommons first. So we have Lemur, or Lemur, I don't know how to say his name. Double hit, and he has a bomb that detonates in 3 turns. So I don't like that his bomb's 3 turns, but he is uncommon. So for now we're not going to be using that guy. Incubus has an A1 that attacks one enemy, has a 10% chance to place an extra hit. Attacks 3 times at random, resets the cooldown on the skill if the target is killed. So Incubus looks like a solid choice because he's an attack type, and then he can reset his cooldowns on this ability. That's a triple hit if he kills an enemy, so that's good. So Picker is also a solid choice because he has an AoE that can provoke. So if you max this out, it's going to be a 35% chance to place a provoke debuff for 1 turn. It attacks all enemies, so that's going to be a chance to provoke all enemies, which is very good. And he has decreased speed on his basic attack. So Pit Spawn, he is another good choice. His basic attack is just basic. He's defense type, his damage based on defense. What I like about him is his A2. He has the AoE that has a 25% chance of placing a 25% decreased attack debuff for 2 turns. So that means that can land on every single enemy. And if you max it out, it's going to be a 3-turn cooldown, which is very low. That's good. And it's going to be a 40% chance of placing the decreased attack. So yeah, he's very good. So I would actually use what was it saying? Pit Incubus, Pit Cur, and Pit Spawn. So the other guy I wouldn't use at all. Let's move on. So we're gonna look at farmable champions first. I believe we have 2 farmable champions. Let me go double check. So we actually have 2 farmable champions from the rares. We have everyone's favorite Diabolist, everyone's favorite fodder. So I'd actually recommend working on her. She has a sleep on her basic attack, which can come in clutch if you need it. She has an AoE that places an increased speed buff on all allies for 2 turns. That can be a 3-turn cooldown when maxed out. So you get it from, you can farm her from stage 12 if you guys are not aware. What I like about her is this ability right here. It fills the turn meter of all allies by 15% and decreases the turn meter of all enemies by 15%. And it's on a 4-turn cooldown when maxed out. So yeah, she is very good. I would recommend working on her and working on Hound Spawn. He has a stun on his basic attack, which can come in clutch, as I said before. He has an A2 that attacks one enemy twice, and then he has a 50% chance of placing a decreased defense for 1 turn. And when maxed out, it's going to be a 85% chance, so that's pretty high. And what I like about him, if you have Hellfang, only if you have Hellfang, he has an AoE that will ignore defense and block damage buffs if the target has a freeze debuff. So Hellfang is right over here, so there would be a good choice to use together. So they synergize very well. He has an AoE that has a 50% chance of placing a freeze debuff for 1 turn. So you want Hellfang to go before. So you want Hellfang to move before Hound Spawn, so Hound Spawn can use his ability right after. So it's a very good combo. He has his A1 has a 15% chance of putting the target skills on cooldown. He has Weaken on his A2, and yeah, he's a good choice. So what I'm looking at right now is Diabolist, Hellfang, and Hound Spawn as a team. Diabolist, Hellfang, Hound Spawn. I'll throw in Pit Cur and Pit Spawn in there as well. That will be a team right there. Let's take a look at Tormentor. So Tormentor doesn't seem like he's that good. Marcus is a good choice too. So Marcus can actually synergize with Hellfang and Hound Spawn. Because her A3, she can attack 1 enemy and has a 75% chance of placing a freeze debuff for 1 turn. 75% chance is very huge. And she's defense based. And she has an AoE Weaken that's damage based on defense. And she has decreased attack on her basic attack, so she is a solid choice. If you have her, I'll take out one of the uncommons and throw her in that team. So the rest of the champions are void, so we're not going to go over them. And of course, if you have the epics, I would recommend using them, epics and legendaries. So let's move on to the Undead Hordes. So Undead Hordes doesn't really have very good uncommons. So Skull Squire would be a choice. He's not that good, but he synergizes with his own move. So he has decreased speed on his basic, and then he has A2, has a 50% chance of placing a 30% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns, and then places a freeze debuff for 1 turn if the target is currently under decreased speed. So if you can get another champion that can decrease speed for him, and then he can follow up with his A2, that would be a good combination. Skellag I like just because of his A1 that can freeze. And then he has an AoE that has a 60% chance of placing a 25% decreased accuracy debuff for 1 turn. But what I don't like about him is damage based on attack, but he's defense based. So that is the reason why he's not that good, but I would just build him for that freeze. And if you're looking for support, these builds are really weird for these Undead Hordes. Because this guy, Vulpine, he's an attack type champion, but he has support abilities. Plays a 25% increased attack buff on all allies for 2 turns. I don't know, I guess that's okay. And he has decreased defense on his basic. So the best one that I like out of all these champions from the uncommons is Damper. She attacks one enemy, grants an extra turn if the target's killed. And she has an AoE that heals by 20% of the damage inflicted. So she basically has lifesteal built into her kit. And then when maxed out, it's going to be a 3-turn cooldown. So she's the best one out of them. I would actually build a team with just them if you need. They're not that good, but if you need to, I would build a team with them if you don't have enough Undead Hordes. So let's look at the farmable champion. So we have Sorceress. Sorceress is pretty basic. She's not that good. She's an attack type champion. She has a 30% chance of placing a decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. And she has an attack one enemy 2 times and has a 20% chance of placing an extra hit. She has attack enemy attacks 3 times at random. Each hit has a 30% chance of placing a 6% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. On a 4-turn cooldown when maxed out. Yeah, so I feel like she's not that good, but she should be dealing a very good amount of damage. Just, her attacks are really random. If it's a single target like that last enemy left, then she will be good. So a good support unit. Best one I would say, the support unit is Grinner. Because of his ability to revive an ally with 50% HP and place a shield buff on the revived champion for 2 turns, equal to 20% of their max HP. His A2 has an AoE that has a 20% chance of removing 1 random buff from each target, and it can be 50% chance when maxed out on a 3-turn cooldown. That is very good. And he can passively increase allies' attack. He has a 25% chance of placing a 50% increased attack buff on allies for 2 turns when he attacks an enemy. So that is very good. So if you have Grinner, I would recommend using him. If you have a better champion that's Sorceress, I would go ahead and use that. But if you want a champion that's easy to skill up, then go for Sorceress. So Banshee is a support unit as well. But what I like about her is that she has all AoE. So if you have her, I would recommend working on her. And the only viable champion with an aura skill for faction wars for the rares and uncommons is Wretch. So I would use him just because of this. He increases force ally attack in all battles by 30%. 30% is pretty high. And there's a lot of force champions in the Undead Hordes faction. So he has heal reduction on his basic attack, that's good. He heals himself by 15% of the damage inflicted on his A2. It's a 3-turn cooldown when maxed out. And he can place HP burn debuff for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown when maxed out. So he is a solid choice, but this ability right here is what makes him stand out to me. Because he's the only one that has a viable aura skill. So you can run him, Grinner, Sorceress, that's 3, right? And then you can run any of these uncommons here. So that is a good team right there. Temptress does a lot of damage, but she's very squishy. And she's synergized with Seducer very well. So if you have Temptress and Seducer, I would recommend using them, but Seducer is a voice, so he's hard to get. And then we have Doom Screech. He's very good, but again, he's a voice, so we're not going to be going over them. And yeah, that's it for these guys. Bone Knight, I would throw in there. He has a weaken on his basic attack. He has heal reduction, 100%. 100% is good. And he has an AoE that increases crit rate buff on all allies for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown when maxed out. So that's it for the Undead Hordes. I feel like they would make a pretty good team because I feel like they're more complete than a lot of other factions. Like this aura skill with force is very good. They have a very good support that can revive. They have a damage dealer. And they have a lot of force uncommon champions. So that's how we would build a team. And of course, as I always say, if you have the epics and legendaries, I would use them. One of the free-to-play epics is Dark Aethel that you can use. She has 2 AoEs and a double hit on her basic attack. And she also has an universal aura skill. So that is a bonus. And another bonus is Lich. So Lich is technically free-to-play because you can fuse him, I think from the Rods and Scarhide fusion. So you can fuse him from there if you have the rares. So he is A2, he places a 60% increased defense buff on himself for 2 turns. And he heals himself by 20% of their max HP. on a 3-turn cooldown when maxed out. So these guys are harder to max out, but I think you can fuse Lich multiple times, if I'm not mistaken, if you haven't fused Rosin already. You can attack one enemy, fully depletes the target's turn meter, place a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. And that can be 3-turn cooldown. So yeah, he's a solid choice. And of course, damage is based on defense, that's a plus. So guys, that's it for this video. On the next video, we're going to be going over the Dark Elves and Night Revenant, and then that will complete the Faction Wars prep series. If you guys want me to do epics and legendaries, let me know down in the comment section. And if you guys like this video or found this video helpful or entertaining in any way, make sure to drop a like. And if you are new to the channel and you like what you see, first time watching me, definitely hit that big red subscribe button. And while you're at it, make sure you hit the bell icon to let YouTube know you want to stay up to date on all my latest content. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.